Hi, I'm Amber.
And I'm Takiya, and welcome back to the table read. Danielle, welcome to the table read, and thank you so much for being here with us.
Happy to be here. So excited to be your second guest. So happy and so honored. Thanks, guys.
Of course. Before we start our episodes, we always like to do a little icebreaker just because they're fun. And we thought since you've gotten more involved on social media lately, to test you on Gen Z slang.
This is gonna go horribly wrong. Okay, yeah.
The first one is eight.
Oh, it's supposed to be something like sexy. Oh, she ate that, right? Isn't that
Yeah.
like okay, good.
Okay. Next one is tea.
Like spilling the tea. Like tell me the gossip.
Yeah.
Yes. You're doing amazing.
Oh my
Okay.
god, I'm so happy. Can we stop now so I just don't fail?
No, you
Okay.
got it. Okay, the next one, clock it.
I have no idea, but I can think like clock it, like that's cool or that's an important thing. Like I don't know, like clock that stuff.
Kind of, yeah. It's like if you were in an argument with somebody and you had a friend with you and like let's say you made a really good point and they're like, clock it. Like you basically
Like, period.
made a good point. Yeah.
Oh my god, I'm gonna be using this all of the time. I'm 100% love making a good point. So now I'm gonna say clock it.
Next one is it's giving.
Yes, no, like the outfit is giving. Like it's giving the vibes. It's giving the yes. No, I love a giving. I love that. I don't say
Yes.
it, but I know it.
The next one is ick.
Well, that gives you the ick, right? Is that
Yeah.
like, oh, that's gross. Like that makes me kind of like, ugh.
Mhm.
Like, it
Yeah.
cringes you out a little bit.
Okay, this actually, oh my god, I don't feel as uncool as I thought I was.
Okay, last one is like kind of a four-part. So, first one is like, I'm dead, or screaming, crying, help.
Are these like all they have to be said together? I'm dead,
No,
screaming.
No, it's like something you say to someone, like they'll say something to you and that's your response to them. As it could be like any of those, like, I'm dead. Help.
Yeah,
Screaming.
usually help is in like all caps over text message, or like LOL is in all caps.
And it doesn't mean help.
Mm-mm.
No.
I mean, the only thing that comes to mind when it's like I'm dead is like something amazing is happening. So you're like, oh my god, I'm dead. But I don't think I know this one because to me, I would just think I'm dead or help is like this person needs help.
Kinda.
Yeah.
No, you guys can
Sorta.
tell me I'm completely wrong. Be honest.
Takaya, you got it.
Okay, so basically, like, if Station came back or something, and then I sent the
Right.
text to Amber, and she was
Yes.
like, I'm dead, or she's like screaming, or she's like, help. That means she's excited. Like, oh my gosh, like, what is
Makes
happening?
sense.
Yeah.
Or it means like something's really funny.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Like
This
help.
kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
It makes more sense when you're like in the moment.
And I can actually like I can see that. I could see of like how that would play out. There's other ones that I don't fully understand that happen all the time, like where people just say mommy. Like I don't understand why people are saying mommy
Mother.
or
Mommy,
mother.
mother.
Mother
Yeah.
feels proper.
I like-
I'm like,
yeah.
I feel like I'm mother dragon or something. Like,
I call my mom mother.
I call my mom mother
Okay.
too.
Yeah,
oh,
I don't
wow.
know why.
People calling me mother.
Because, well,
Because
I
you're
think people mean
giving.
like you're giving. Like,
Yeah,
like,
you're
mother.
giving.
Mother.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a good
Okay,
thing.
good.
It's
It's
not
a
bad.
compliment.
It's a compliment.
Okay, good. And do I want to be a diva? Because someone like today was like,
Yes.
"You're a diva," and I was like, "Is this a good thing or a bad thing?"
Yes, it's a
Yeah.
good
Mhm.
thing. Like, you're a diva. Like, yeah, you're fierce.
Oh, this is amazing. Okay, I've learned so much. Thanks, guys, for that.
That was the end of our little icebreaker.
Great.
And now you know that we're called a table read, and we talk all things film and TV, the industry, the ins and outs, whatnot. And so our first question for you is, looking back, what's one moment when you realize, oh, this industry plays different for like women? Like, there's different rules.
I think it's always because I started so young at 7 and was on sets. It would always felt that there was absolutely discrepancies between how men were treated and how women were treated. But also when I was really young, you just saw more men. Like I don't think I ever had a female director until I did a sitcom when I was about 16 years old or 17. And that was the first female director I ever had. So I think you just felt like it was the norm until you realized that it could actually be different. It's interesting. That's why representation is so important. And it's shifted so much. But so much of the industry, for so long, you just felt like, oh, this is just the norm. Like, I don't even know how to explain it because you feel so naive actually saying it. You're like, oh, I guess women don't want to direct. Like, you feel as a kid. So you feel so stupid thinking that. But then you go, oh, wait, women can direct. And that changed a lot. I always reference Catherine Bigelow winning the Oscar because I think it was such a shock to me because when I loved Hurt Locker so much, I didn't know a woman directed it. And then on top of it, a woman directed it and then she won an Oscar. So that was a huge shift for me. And I felt like obviously it's continually evolving and has to continually evolve now that I'm like, well, this is a real thing that we've just been told for years that we can't do. For whatever reason, someone told us we can't do it. And so it's now been this push to be like, okay, no, we can do it and we are going to do it. And we're not going to just do female driven teeny bopper stuff, even though some of us love that. That's totally fine. But like it shouldn't be so limiting. It's evolved, and I definitely felt very kind of naive at first because it's what I grew up in, and what you grew up in is what you know. And so I just until I started seeing more women on set and female directors and camera operators, like I try not to get too excited every time I see a female camera operator because I'm like, I don't want them to like feel weirded out by me. But every time I'm like, oh my God, hi. Like I
Well, I
think
would
there's
think
something
that's a
to that.
compliment, like, "Oh, hey."
Mhm.
Yeah, I always
Um,
come over and give the compliment, but you know me, I can come on strong, guys.
it's okay. That's what we love about you.
I I definitely am like, especially just because I've just gone to film school, so I haven't done anything like crazy yet. But every time I would do a short or work on set, it was always all female team. So writer, actor, director, DP. And I was like, so I would tell my friends about it, and I'd be like, my friends who aren't in the film industry, and I'd be like, yeah, we're all women, and they're like, okay, and I'm like, no, guys, this is huge. This is
It's
groundbreaking.
huge. It's so huge. I just did one day of filming on a friend's independent film, and she did her best to like have as many female crew members as possible. And it just there's something about it that just feels so good when you walk on set and you're like, this is awesome. Like just to be a part of that. I don't know if you guys heard me say it at one of the conventions, but I love that Nicole Kidman has made it a point, like that all these jobs she's doing lately to very actively say, I want to work with female directors. And she's had the power to do that. So when you actually have the power to do it, it's pretty cool that she's owning that.
As a woman, what do you feel is an important strength as far as being successful, whether it's in the entertainment industry or just any industry that a woman is trying to succeed in?
I mean, perseverance, I think that's anybody that's trying to succeed. You know, tends to be have to be more perseverance against obviously bias and sexism that we're going to face that other people don't have to face, men don't have to face, I should say. But perseverance is probably the number one thing you have to be. I mean, I think everyone, man or woman, has to be prepared to have ups and downs and to lean into your talent and your strengths. But I think perseverance across the board, no matter who you are, is essential to be successful. But women probably a little bit more in regards to the fact that you have more hurdles you have to get past. I'm dealing with it now. Like I'm doing a, this music video and I'm hitting every roadblock possible because I'm a woman making the calls. And I'm basically at a point where I'm like having to hire a male producer because like no one is taking me seriously.
Oh, no.
But yeah, no, I'm like, so perseverance. Like I literally wanted to like scream into a pillow on Friday. And today I hit the ground running, being like, okay, I'm just gonna, get on the phone again and make these calls and make it work. But yeah, perseverance would be my answer.
It sucks because you think like that there's been so much progress in the industry, and then things like that happen, and you're like, okay,
Yeah.
nope.
No, we have so much further to go. But what I love and what you guys have probably seen too in the film industry is women really support women in this I don't know, part of this profession. It just feels like I have yet to meet a female director, writer, camera operator who hasn't supported another female. And that's been extremely inspiring and empowering and also so it inspires me to want to also lift anyone else who is like trying to kind of go through it. I'm like, okay, let me give you all the tips and pointers that I got. And I just find that it's really special.
It's like women empowering women.
Mm-hmm. So important. What is that one shirt I always have that I wear sometimes is empowered women empower women? Yeah.
Sure.
I wear it
I
every once in a while.
remember.
And every time I wear it, I'm like, gosh, this shirt says so much. But it's empowered women empower women. And
I
I
need
just
that shirt.
Yeah.
it's a really good one. I'll make
Okay.
it.
No, do it. People would buy it.
Yeah,
Deal.
people would. Your own merch.
Like, let me add something else to the list of things to do. Just trying to keep up this social media game.
You're
You're
doing
crushing
great.
it.
Thanks, guys.
How do you balance giving so much of yourself to your fans and career while also balancing your personal life?
It's been interesting to find that balance. Because it's been hard to find it in regard to sometimes I give too much to one and I end up sacrificing. And then I realize, okay, I'm neglecting everything over here and I have to. So the balance is it's definitely been a work in progress to find the perfect balance. And I'm still not sure if I'm exactly there. Uh, but I'm someone who loves to give. I'm definitely like a giver. So I think just for me, I have to keep doing it. I just have to make sure that I'm not upsetting people that need my attention and time too. And I'm learning that, I heard a friend's feeling the other day and she's like, I feel like we don't hang out and talk anymore. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm so sorry, And so we needed to connect and talk about things and talk through things. And I figure out that balance. I'm like, okay. And then I talk to my therapist about it and she helps me as well. But I think balance is something that's hard no matter what. And we constantly evolve as people as well. So there's an element of that balance that shifts when our life shifts. When you start a new relationship, when you have kids, when you have a new job, like the balance is constantly shifting. And it's sometimes hard to keep an eye on what, taking care of everyone and what's important.
Yeah, because I know you do conventions a lot because we went to the London one.
Mhm.
And you like also went on your vacation afterwards. And I was like, she deserves that.
Where did I go after?
I have no idea, but you were everywhere.
That's right. My sister came to London. That's actually a perfect example of balance. So my sister really wants to learn to travel more. She's just someone she hasn't had the opportunities like me to be able to travel as much. She really wanted to travel and she's like, we did it on a tight budget because we split everything. And so, she's like, you're in London. I want to come to London. I've never done it. And I was like, okay. So we took the tube every day and we went and saw all the things and we had such an amazing time. But that is part of finding the balance because like I'd really neglected seeing my sister over the years. And so it was nice to connect in that way. But yeah, that's right. We did in London. Jesus, that feels like it was a year ago.
I
Okay.
know. That was my first time ever like over the ocean anywhere.
Really?
And I was yeah, and I was so jet lagged the entire time. I think the first day we got there we slept for 13 hours.
Yeah.
It was
We
rough.
woke up and it was like 8 o'clock. We're like,
We're like, what
what?
day is it?
You start to learn this balance of like, okay, if I'm taking a red eye, sleep on the red eye when I get there so that I wake up, like force yourself to sleep. It's like melatonin or magnesium or what. And
Mhm.
then like flying home, I'll usually just tough it out and not sleep so that when I land, I can sleep that night. But it has become once you travel more and more, you'll get a habit down of like what works for you because that jet lag, she's a
Rough.
she's a yeah.
So you recently shadowed on Grey's Anatomy.
I did.
What was that like?
Oh my gosh. It was scary as hell because I was shadowing Debbie Allen. For anyone that doesn't know, she's an icon, from her fame days to choreography to, producing to having a Kennedy honors to like everything. Like the woman she's an icon. If you don't know her, look her up. So I was definitely scared, and she's known for being a very tough teacher. So I knew going in to be as prepared as possible. You guys know me, I'm a Virgo. I'm always prepared. But I knew that at any moment she could ask a question and I need to have an answer. Even if it's not necessarily right, just be prepared to give an answer, have confidence and stuff like that. So I was definitely prepared, but scared. You know what? I don't know how much we can cuss on this podcast.
Go for
So
Say
it.
whatever you want.
okay, good. I was absolutely scared shitless. And I remember like second day in, she's already like quizzing me on stuff. And because of the kind of teacher she is, she's like, fail. And I was like so disappointed, you guys don't understand. Cause I was like, I thought that was a great shot and like such a great shot list. Like, why did I fail? And she likes to teach you a lesson. And so I learned a lot from her. I walked away because really she likes to view everything in the frame as a dance. Everything matters. She says every shot is a close up. And she means that in the sense that like everything on the frame matters. And she really loves choreographing both the actors and the background to really tell a whole story with what's in the frame. And I've never seen a director have that much attention to the detail of what's going around in the whole shot. Usually people focus on just the people that are talking. So it was really amazing to see that. It also means that, like, my God, this woman is amazing. But that also makes it that she's having to work even harder because she's having to focus on everything. But no, it was very scary. By the end, she said I got a C, which I was told is like an A in Debbie's book. So I'll take
Great.
that because I was about to cry. I was like, he's cool. But no, it was an amazing experience and I learned a lot. And I'm already in touch with her about hopefully I would love to direct this season. I don't think it's going to happen this season, but I will shadow again. You guys know me, I'm the queen of shadowing. By the time I get to direct again, I'll have shadowed, I think, every director in the industry of television. But it was great. It was great. And I learned a lot.
I feel like being able to kind of learn more about what you want to do from people who do it best. Like, that's so
Yeah.
fun. Like, I love doing acting classes and everything because I get to learn from so many, like, amazing people.
Yeah. And I think there's something too about nothing is being handed to you from Debbie. I mean, nothing's been handed to me at all yet, but like she's tough, she's very much like the reason why she says it's an F for a C, she's like, do better. I want you to just keep striving to do better. She's not gonna like coddle you or hold your hand, which I really appreciate because this industry doesn't coddle you or hold your hand. So she's really teaching a valuable lesson by being that tough. And then when you actually get to see her in her little moments, you actually realize she's actually just like, she's like a mom and a grandma and a sweet lady. But man, is she good at playing tough.
After you do finish shadowing an episode, like, is there anything else you do after, or you just kinda, like, move on to the next thing? Like, is there a process?
Well, shadowing does pre-production, production, and post-production. So you're part of the editing process as well. And you can go to whatever extreme you want. When I was first shadowing, I wanted to know everything from color correcting to any CGI or VFX that was done. I was really wanting to get in on everything. Now I realize, okay, usually the DPs do the color correcting and you don't sit in on things like that. But it was great to get that experience early on. But the editing process is 100% something you have to do when production ranks. And I love that process because you see it go through so many iterations, which is really fantastic to see. But also, and I think Sean Rhimes did actually who said it, is that a script gets rewritten 3 times. And you write it, and you shoot it, and you edit it. So kind of the last rewrite is in the editing room. And it is pretty amazing what can happen. And that's the director's job. So I love that part of shadowing a lot. And sometimes I actually like it the best because you get to really just sit there and play. And it changes so much. You can move one scene and the whole thing changes. But after that, no, after that, you're done. After that, you're like, okay, well, it was an unpaid internship to shadow someone around. Or like when I fly to Vancouver, like, it's paying for hotel rooms and flights. And you walk away going, hopefully they'll hire me.
Do you get like a permission slip signed sort of situation?
Yeah,
Is it
like
like
a resume.
Right?
like
And for those and people listening that might be wanting to get into directing, I took a very different route, which is why shadowing has become such a main priority because I was an actor on a show who started shadowing directors because I had the access to them. But usually what ends up happening is a lot of people strive to be part of directing programs. Like CBS has one, NBC has one, ABC has one. Rebecca Television has one, Shondaland has one. Everyone's got a director's program. And really the goal is to try to get into a director's program, which usually guarantees you an episode after you're done filming. I thought that after directing on station, that would open the door to that I directed an episode. But what one person did say to me was, well, you're not directing on your own show. And so they basically just like discredited everything I did. They're like, yeah, well, you were helped by the crew. And of course, the crew wants to look out for you. But I was like, okay. And what was great is my follow up was I was like, can I get you letters of recommendations? So I had Paris, Tessa Blake, Darren Okada, everyone send, Emily Colbert, everyone send letters of recommendation saying how qualified I was and how, I didn't have my hands held. So it helped, but I'm basically now fighting up against this assumption that's been made about me as an actor director. So it's interesting. So at this point, I'm like, I want to get into a directing program, but most directing programs, you can't have already directed an episode of television. So I'm stuck in this predicament of continuing to shadow. So I guess the point I'm making is most people, if you're listening to this, get into a director's program. They'll teach you, they'll have you shadow, they'll give you an episode, and then you'll actually be an in-house director for whatever that network is or production company, which is, I think, in hindsight, a much better route to go because now I'm kind of up against a lot of different things and having to call friends to basically be like, can I shadow with the hopes of maybe one day directing? So yeah, that was a very long answer, but I hope it benefits you.
Speaking of, if you directed an episode of Grey's Anatomy and you could choose or when you direct an episode of Grey's Anatomy,
Yes. Oh, I love
and you could choose any storyline, what storyline would you pick? Because they've done so much stuff already, it's insane.
They've done everything. Isn't this their 22nd season or 21st?
20 something, yeah.
They've done everything. You know what I miss though, because I've only watched seasons 1 through 9, but what I have seen over the crossover episodes is they don't do anything with the fairy anymore. Like,
Yeah.
I kind of miss, and I get it because shows, they become more expensive in some ways, and so they end up shooting more and more on stages. But it felt like those going up to Seattle and shooting exteriors and seeing Seattle and incorporating the ferry into the show again. Like, I kind of miss that about Grays when I've seen more recent episodes. It feels like everything is in the hospital. So, and as I think you guys know from my episode of Station 19, is I love action. So I love that I'm like, hire me for the medical show, but I'm going to take the whole show outside of the hospital.
I mean,
Change of
you never
scenery.
know. Yeah.
I love the big action stuff. I mean, that to me, if the episode had something really cool and big happening that incorporated, going on a ferry, or even something simple as like they just go out on the ferry and there's some love story or something. But the show has such great writers and such great cast that I would be happy to kind of have any real storyline. I just selfishly would want some exteriors in Seattle, ferry, and some.
In one of your lives from the virtual convention you did on TikTok and Instagram, you said that you and Emily had just finished the first draft of a project you guys are working on. Can you give us any hints?
I mean, of course I can. I'm trying to think of like, what could I say? Uh, Female spy thriller. Really fun. Really. It's like think. I'm like, why am I shooting myself in the foot by saying these things? Think Quantico, think Alias, think The Americans, think like a mix of all those shows. Emily likes to reference Homeland, but I'm like, are we that dark? I'm like, is it that dark? But I'm really happy we finished that really solid, amazing first draft. We got some notes from a dear friend, and to kind of give variations about pitch decks and stuff like that. So we're in that process. And then we just sit down and we pitch stuff, and chances are you usually hear no. That's this industry. But every no opens a door to something else. So even if I would love it if it does, and I'm putting it out there that someone's gonna buy it and love it. But if they don't, we'll make relationships and connections.
So you also recently just put out your short film Heard.
I did.
Very well done, by the way.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And you had mentioned being nervous about putting it out there. Was it more so that it was something so deep and personal, or more how people would interpret the story?
Because it was so deep and personal. It's a sensitive subject matter to talk about. It took a lot of courage for me to even do it, but I was very motivated because I knew I had to. And so I did it, but it actually hit me the most when I was like, oh, this is done. Now I have to like put it out there. And I've still, I mean, I don't want to say regret, but I'm very hesitant to even like, I just looked at comments for the first time on the YouTube page where it was uploaded. Like, I really want to engage in the conversation with people, but it is a very scary conversation to have for anybody. And so, but I made this short film and it means so much. I know it means so much to so many people to have these conversations that I have to start just being tough enough to say, okay, like, let's just go for it and at least open the door to the conversation. And everyone's experience is different. I think it's one of those things that I'm not nervous that people's interpretation, would be wrong or something. Like everyone's going to interpret it slightly different based on their own experience. So yeah, so it's more just the sensitivity around it. I mean, talking about sexual assault in any way is nerve-wracking because it's also very much something to talk about that ends up being he said, she said, but that's not what this was about. This wasn't about trying to blame. That's why I really didn't want to show the male figure. I wanted it to be about what the female experience is when you're going through something like that. And that's why I made it not as like, even though a lot of people have very strong opinions, people are like, he's an absolute like rapist and it was intentional. And then some people are like, he didn't know because she didn't say no. And I'm like, that's the thing though. There's so many times you're put in a situation and sometimes women don't say no and they don't know why they didn't say no. Or they thought they said no and they didn't say no, but they said no and he didn't hear it or whatever. How do we start the conversation around consent so that situations like this don't happen anymore? And again, it's like, I even nervous saying all those things because I don't want people to get the wrong idea. Like this is, like this should not happen is what I get mad about. Like we shouldn't be dealing with these situations anymore where people don't understand what they're signing up for or what's signing up for. I'm trying to get the right words and this is where I get flustered, guys. Like in my short film, she brings him back to her house and that itself shouldn't take away the power of her saying no either. But it felt like all these circumstances allowed her to blame and guilt herself and putting her into that situation when she shouldn't feel that way. And I think a lot of women too feel, oh, I shouldn't have done this or that because we tend to go, okay, well, it's not their fault, it's my fault. And that's not.
Right.
Yeah.
Consent is a real thing, and talking around these things is a real thing. And talking about them after the fact when they happen, is important. I think I said that as eloquently as possible. It's my first time really talking about it, you guys, but
That's
I'm
okay.
trying to get better at verbalizing it.
You're doing great,
So
and we really appreciate your honesty and your vulnerability. And I literally will never forget the first time I watched your short film, like when it first came out and you did a virtual.
you saw it at the festival.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it like forever changed my life, seriously. And I
Really?
continue to share it with everyone. And I don't know, it's just there's really not much around it that's more personal, um, like on personal level. So I think that's what really separates it from everyone else.
Thank you for saying that. I hate to hear that when people do say it resonates with them, that some ways like, all of us women have experienced something like this. Um, and that gets extremely frustrating, but at least it makes us feel like we're not alone, which I think is important. We're not hiding in shame.
When you directed your episode of Station, was it difficult to separate your role as a director from being co-star? Like, if you had to give notes or like make changes without it sounding like, I don't know, like bossy or whatever?
It was nerve-wracking at first, but I very much felt very comfortable in the directing role. I have to say it was something that I'm very proud of because I was told, like, listen, you're going to do all this and then you might direct and you might realize you're just not cut out for it. And it was very reassuring that I was nervous, as any of this director would be, but and I was the most nervous to direct my fellow co-stars because you just don't know how people are going to react. I will never tell an actor how to play a scene, like ever. And so now all of a sudden I'm in this director's position where I'm like, oh, I have to tell them if I want them to change it. Luckily, the cast of Station, I think, is such an amazing cast that my notes were more like, I love that take. Let's try this. Like, let's just play around. But I really fell into it naturally. I really enjoyed basically playing. And I had the privilege of not having any bad actors. So it wasn't like, it wasn't like I was having to try to get a performance out of someone that was struggling to get there. I just got to play. And then when it came to, I mean, because I'm a Virgo, I was great at great. I was great at controlling that. I was like, okay, so this is what we're doing now. This is what we're doing now. Keeping us on schedule. And then Emily was great because Emily and I have a great relationship where she has very clear boundaries. So when it came to me giving notes on the script, like there were days I was like, would you be open to this in the script? Because as a director, there was a couple things. Like as a director, I feel like I can do this in a oneer. I feel like I can do this in a steady cam oneer. Would you change this? She's like, yeah. And then there's other things where I'd say like, I don't think this makes sense. Can we condense those two scenes? And she's like, no. And I was like, okay. So you want somebody who's also confident in their work, and I was confident in mine. It was a very good team, and I was very lucky. But yeah, giving notes was the scariest thing, but I got pretty well.
Are you like a compliment sandwich kind of person?
I love a compliment sandwich. So
Yeah.
important. That was great. I love that take. Now let's try this. And like,
But
and
it
just
was
play
still
with it.
amazing. Like, you got it.
Yes.
But still great.
Oh, that was I mean, and I didn't learn that until I was older, but I absolutely loved learning that about emails is give the compliment sandwich in the emails. Like you start with something amazing, you have the ask or the critique or whatever, and then you end with something amazing. And yes, I live by it. So yes, everyone else should do because it's amazing.
Speaking of Station 19, friends would always see the finished, polished shots, but were there any behind the scenes things that weren't so glamorous that you haven't shared before?
I was actually looking through a ton of photos. Anything that wasn't glamorous. I mean, when we in the early days had the really heavy turnout suits and the real fire, like those days were gross. Like I loved it, but like we're covered in sweat, our bodies ached, we stunk. Like you can't get that in the picture, but we all smelled. Horrible. But less glamorous. I don't know. It was really such an amazing experience. Let alone you're playing such badass characters. All of us were. Like it's fun and it was good energy. I don't know. I don't think there was anything not glamorous besides like the gritty stuff when it came to firefighting, really. Because I mean, listen, I wasn't playing, Lena in Found. I wasn't wearing Gucci and high heels. We were gross and dirty and like, you couldn't have nice nails. So, but I loved it. I absolutely loved it. So that would I guess say is the not glamorous side of it. And then, I mean, as an actor, hours of anything, and once you do a job for so long, it's weird. They tell you this, but I never experienced it until Station 19, is you're playing a role for so many years that you almost start to get like, well, what am I doing now? Or you get kind of complacent, or you're trying to find ways to challenge yourself because you're kind of getting bored. I got very lucky that they constantly gave Maya something, but
She was
it
constantly in
happens.
pain, like
She was going through it.
physically, mentally, emotionally.
Constant. But I have to say, in the end, there, she kind of was like, okay, I'm good. Like, I kind of was like, okay,
She came out on the other side. Yeah.
she did.
So there were a lot of emotional and spicy scenes between characters. After the director says cut, like, what do you do? Do you just be like, oh, good job? Like, yeah, high five. Like what do you say?
That one was great.
It all depends on the actors. I mean, me and Stefani would always, obviously, we had such a great dynamic, and we would just laugh and have a good, like, something would always go wrong. You know, it's like, it's great if you can laugh about something like, you know, you bump teeth, or you like something's not sexy about it, or like, but then there's some days where you kind of like, they say cut and you're like, did you guys get it? Was that sexy? Was that hot enough? Like, are you sure it worked? Try it again. I think I could put my hand on her butt and that'll look better. Like, make sure to catch that. You know, wait, it's still funny. Is that okay? You know, so you're kind of like, it is a job. So you're taking, you know, it's not like you would be kissing someone you love. Like, it is very much a job. Um, and so but it's different. Stefani and I were like that. I have other people I've worked with that, like, one person just couldn't stop profusely sweating. Like, they just, like, poor person. Like, I felt so bad for them. I was like, are you okay? Like, it's okay. Like, nothing's happening. It's fine. um, you know, and so you have that. You have people that get nervous. And so you're kind of trying to, between takes, be like, how was that for you? Does that make you feel comfortable? You also, like, it's why intimacy coordinators are a thing now, because you want to make sure the person you're having the scene with feels comfortable. So it varies person to person as to what happens when they say cut. I mean, unless people are actually dating on set, I've never seen people like continue to make out after like, I've never seen that. But yeah, I mean, you just want to make sure everyone's comfortable and having a good time. And the thing is, it's like so ridiculous that this is part of our jobs, right? Like, listen, like, some of these scenes are crazy. Like, you're not fake humping, you are humping the person or grinding or whatever, making moaning noises and stuff like that. And you have to take yourself seriously. Like, you can't laugh. So you're like, you're hugging this line of like, okay, I have to believe this as an actor is happening, but I also am, it's not happening. um, so it's a weird job that we do for sure. But you learn to have fun with it. Just make sure everyone's comfortable.
I was wondering, because we never saw the Station 19 blooper reel.
Oh, I know.
If there was one and it was just of you, Maya, what would be in it?
A lot of me saying fuck.
I told you.
That's what Takiya said.
Yeah. Yeah, I said, because I was, you know, me again, we'll say the Virgo thing. If anyone hasn't caught on, I am a Virgo. I always, and I'm sure you guys have heard this, I come to set super prepared, like super prepared. But there's days when your just brain doesn't want to work. And so usually if I did like, it wasn't like other people who would actually be like clowns on set. And so their blooper reels were like them doing funny stuff. Mine was basically always fuck, shit, fuck. What was that? Like, it was usually me going up on a line and usually cussing, which obviously is an issue when there's kids on set. I had one kid that was like, you owe me $1. I owed him so many times, and I was like, no, I'm not paying. But yeah, I always want to be funnier. Like, I always want to be the one that's not, you know, that's making some funny joke on camera, but no, it was never me. So yeah, that would be, and I wish that blooper reel had come out. I really don't. I don't understand why we can't just do it. It's one of those things like, ask for, what is it saying? Ask for forgiveness, not permission.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think
I love that.
If we ask for permission, it'll be a hard no. But if we post it, I love that I'm saying this on a podcast that's public. But if we just post it and then we get in trouble, like, the worst that happens is what, you have to take it down. Like, it's already kind of out there.
That's true.
But obviously, we're all scared. You know, no one wants to get sued.
Right.
So there is a particular scene between Maya and Carina that fans fans went insane over. Like, I probably saw that scene at least 20 times a day for at least a good 3 months. But it's episode 709 when Carina is licking Maya's stomach. Don't tell me you forgot.
No. Oh, I remember. So 709, wasn't that Tessa's episode? Yeah, Tessa Blake directed that one, because that was our second to our last episode before the finale, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because we only had 10 episodes in the last season. Yes,
Yeah.
sorry. I remember the episode. I was thinking of the director to get myself in the headspace as to what the question might be. But yes, continue.
Were you guys, like, given free range, or was that choreographed, like, into the script or something?
No, no, no. That was not in the script at all. I mean, I always say that and then I should check because sometimes I say that and I'm like, it was definitely not in the script. I don't think it was in the script. I think we kind of talked it through. Tessa is someone as a director you feel really comfortable with. So when we were kind of doing it, I remember at least my motivation was like, we need to make this as sexy as possible. And I can't remember if there was like, it was more Maya playing Karina is what we would see on camera versus. And I actually think I remember before that episode, I said, can we reverse it so that Karina's pleasuring Maya in this scene. And I remember that because I think it just hadn't happened in a really long time. And they were like, yeah. And then it's Stefania. So, she made it
Yeah.
sexy. She knows what looks good on camera. That girl is, as we all know, she's like, I know what's going to be sexy. Where they call cut and I'm like, was that sexy? Did I look sexy? you know, that
Mute.
girl just that girl just freaking, oozes sexuality. So she licked my stomach. I was like, okay. I feel like I want to ask Stefania how that went because she might have a different interpretation. Maybe Tessa mentioned to do it or something. Because I think what I was saying at the beginning is Tessa's someone you feel so comfortable with that I'm sure Tessa might have pitched an idea for us. So I can't remember if Tessa pitched it because I know the shot was like her coming up, So I know that like there was that element. So I wonder if Tessa pitched it or if Stefania just went for it. This has to be a Stefania question as well.
Either way, it was iconic, so
Thanks.
you're welcome.
Maya and Carina, they've had such an impact in the LGBTQ plus community, especially to this day. What do you think about Station 19 got it right? Because I personally feel like that relationship was the first realistic one that I saw in network television and probably ever.
I've heard that. And I mean, I haven't watched all the shows out there and I know there are a lot of other shows that have queer storylines that I think a lot of people resonate with. And I don't know either what exactly it was, like what to put. I do think it was a very authentic interpretation of a relationship. It wasn't used, sometimes it's used to like, I don't know if I'm saying this right, but like some shows, it feels like they're checking a box.
Mhm.
Like the storyline isn't really given the attention it deserves. They make one character gay and they somewhat touch on their storyline, but really it's never an A story. And with Maya and Karina, they really focused on a real relationship and they didn't just use it to try to, I don't know, appease a certain audience. They were like, because you know what I mean? Like, I
It
feel like
wasn't tokenized.
what's tokenized?
It
Yes.
means like whenever you can tell a show is just trying to check off a box.
Yes. And I feel like that's the one thing I notice in a lot of shows. They are doing it because they're like, oh, we have to fulfill this, whatever. And they definitely, Maya and Karina were not that. They were a fully fledged out relationship couple, that went through ups and downs and you saw it all. And like, I applaud them for really leaning into that because I had no say. I didn't know what they were going to do when I signed on with the show. So I'm really grateful to have been a part of that. And I'm really happy that ABC is known for that. They're known for pushing the boundaries on a lot of stuff that other networks do feel like they're tokenizing. So I applaud ABC for really being willing to like go, no, let's make this the A storyline for episodes. It's an ensemble cast, but there were episodes that were just basically focused on significantly on that storyline, which I don't see happening in other shows.
Yeah, no.
So yeah,
The
it was
last
important.
show that really had a great representation was The Fosters. Um,
Ah,
it was such a
interesting.
great show, and it was 2 moms. They had
Mhm.
foster kids, adopted kids, and Um, it was around the time where gay marriage wasn't legalized, and so when it was legalized, the show was still on air, and it was just a whole big thing, and it was so cool. I was in middle school, I think, when I started watching that show, and it definitely opened my eyes to a lot of things that, like, I would have never known about. So
It's so important. And I think Peter Page was part of the Fosters.
yes, yes.
Yeah. Yeah. I think you just need strong leaders behind the camera that are really pushing storylines because you'll actually get people to say yes. I just think so many people are afraid, like, oh God, are we going to like lose, viewership if we focus on these storylines? And Station 19 and the Fosters are great examples of like, come on, guys, have
Yeah.
a little bit more courage and telling storylines that matter that we haven't seen before and that we don't so desperately need to see. So,
Right.
yeah.
Like, you're never gonna be able to please everyone, so might as well do what you want.
No. Yeah. I mean, they have to answer to stockbrokers, so it's a whole different monster that I'll never understand. But I think just like women being behind the camera more, we're making progress. It just sometimes feels like the progress is 10 steps forward, 4 steps back, It's like, can we just have more forward momentum happen and not feel like we have to go back to then go forward again?
It's kind of like
That
the
gets,
Hunting Wives. They have like an
yeah,
all women like crew and everything, and
yeah.
that's amazing.
The Hunting Wives.
I haven't
Have
seen
you
it
seen
yet.
it? Have you seen
I
it?
have seen the first how many episodes? It's only like 6 episodes, I think. I saw the first I auditioned for it. So I had read the pilot when I auditioned for it. Not for they already had known who they were hiring for the 2 lead women,
Uh-huh.
Brittany and I can't say Malin. Is it Malin or Malin?
I think it's Malin.
Is her name Margot in the show?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I
it is.
haven't
was like,
seen it,
remember.
so I don't know.
The 2 leads, like they had already cast them, but I went in and auditioned for another role on the show. And so I read the script and I remember reading it being like, oh gosh, this is I mean, that first episode, I was like, damn.
Oh my gosh.
So I was happy that it was being made and it's definitely a sexual show that I watched. And even I blushed when I watched it. I'm like, damn.
No, I was literally like, I have to watch this when everyone's asleep in my house. Like, no.
Yeah. You kind of were like, is anyone I
No,
swear I'm
I like
watching porn. I swear.
I hit
I'm
pause
watching
so fast. I'm like, oh my god, volume cannot be up right now.
I'm watching Shameless right now, and
Oh,
I love
love
that. Well,
Shameless.
love it. I'm not done yet. I have like 3 episodes left, but my roommate will be in the living room, and I'm like, the volume will go down. I'm like, I promise, I am not in
Mm-mm.
here
Yeah.
because it's like
Yes. They can
intense.
get graphic. Yeah. And the
Yeah.
noise. But no, Hunting Wives is that one that's really cool that I love when they're successful though. I love when shows that are telling LGBTQ storylines are successful because it just proves that these shows work. Because so many times people just want to tell you when either it was a woman can't direct, a male action, show, or shows that lead with women have women leads can't succeed. Shows that are all about the LGBTQ community can't succeed. And every time you have these things that succeed after somebody said they couldn't is a huge win, like bigger win than I think people don't even realize. Like it's why whenever there's a new like female superhero show that comes out, whether it's Captain Marvel or Black Widow or any of those, as you guys know, I'm like, I have to go support because they're all just, even if I don't necessarily love it, I'm like, it's just a reminder that these things actually work. So they make more of them. So anyways, as uncomfortable as the hunting party sometimes makes me feel because it's so sexual and I'm blushing even saying this, it's really great to have a show like that be so successful. And it's fucking fun to watch. Like that show is so wacky.
Oh my
So
gosh. I could
wacky.
not stop watching. I watched it in like 2 days.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah. I think I have, well, how many episodes is it? Is it 6?
I think
in
it's like
total?
8. I think it's 8.
Okay, then maybe I've seen 5, so I have 3 left to go. I
Oh
haven't
my
seen the ending.
gosh. You have to finish it.
It's next on my list.
You have to finish.
Be prepared. Get your what are they called? Your earpods or whatever.
Just the volume all the way down.
Yeah. Yep.
So, had Station 19 continued, would you have ever wanted more closure between Maya and Mason, or do you think leaving it unresolved resonated more with fans who'd had similar experiences?
I really wanted there to be closure. I fought actually really hard. I'm someone who doesn't tend to once I might pitch an idea, but I don't fight it. But that one I fought really hard. And it was torn in the room between Zoanne and Peter. And there was a lot of like, do we resolve this? Do we not resolve this? There was no time to really have a real resolution. But my pitch was like, can there be in these flash forwards, can there be one of those shots, whether it's a family photo or whatever, that Mason's in? So people don't have to be like, and make him look completely different than he looks now. So obviously you're saying from a visual standpoint, he's the one that's changed. He's come around. He's not being manipulated and brainwashed into this like white supremacist, thing that he kind of fell down this rabbit hole of. I don't even know how that happened when it happened.
It
I
was
like,
so
what
random.
happened? Yeah.
Yeah.
At the same time, I was like, I want to believe, I wanted to have hope because both Maya and Karina had no one but each other, which is fine. There's many relationships that is all you have. But I really wanted to believe that there could be hope because I do have friends that came out to their family. And yes, some of their family, don't go to their weddings, don't really talk to them, have kind of distant. But then some of their family are like the sister. Weirdly enough, one of my friends' situations is the family didn't show up to the wedding. They don't support their marriage or their life, but the sister will always show up. And so I just think like it gives hope that like eventually people do come around if they're maybe not there at the beginning. And I would have loved to have seen that because I think we need that sometimes. Because I think the fear is for a lot of people when they're thinking about officially coming out, that scary thing that like, that takes some people years. I was talking to someone the other day, it took them 30 years before they finally came out into their adulthood. It's a scary thing. And to go, I want to do this thing, I have to do this thing. But I'm also scared shitless to do this thing because I've seen every representation on a television, and anytime anyone comes out, entire family abandons them.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And that, because you're not just coming out and living in your truth and your authenticity, you're possibly losing so many people that if you love and you think love you. So I was like, can we just please give the world a little bit of hope? So yeah, that's a very long answer to the question of I would have liked there to be some resolution just in a simple shot. I said, can you guys just shoot it and decide in the editing room? I was like, just have Mason there, just shoot him. Cameron was like, I'll do it. And I was like, he'll do it. Like, just a day. Like, you don't have to pay him an episode rate. Like, just because he cared so much about the character too. So, yeah, it would have been nice. I don't know if people have a strong opinion either or. I haven't heard, but my strong opinion was to have.
I
I
think
also would have liked
too.
closure.
Yeah, I would have liked closure, but I will say that scene was so good.
I'm glad you guys liked it.
Oh my
It
gosh.
was it was like insane, like in a good way.
Yeah.
Good.
So talented.
It was
That was
heartbreaking.
he's such a great actor, and I really was excited to work with him again because even though I liked the guy that played him in the flashback, it wasn't Cameron. So I worked with Cameron in season 1 or 2, and then I didn't work with him again until 7. And he's just such a great actor. So I remember when we got that, I was like, let's do it. David, they were gonna split that scene between 2 days, and I was like, you can't do that because the scene is essentially in real time, but it's intercut with scenes that are happening throughout the episode. But it was 8 pages of like a real in the moment scene that's happening. I'm like, you can't stop this one day and then come back the next day and pick up where your momentum was. I mean, you can if we have to, we're actors. Like, that's our job. But I really begged and begged and begged and I said, can we please block shoot this and shoot this in one day? And we did. And I'm really glad we did because I think it shows in the performance. It builds, and by the time at the end when I'm basically saying like I'm done, and I leave, that felt very real. So I'm glad you guys liked it.
I was wondering, and I'm sorry if you've been asked this before, what was the last scene you shot on Station 19?
The last scene the last actual scene was Andy looking at the display case
Mhm.
and looking at her father's picture and walking out. That was the last shot. The last scene was Barrett having to sign under the table. So it was like emotional, if you can imagine. Like, so many tears were happening. So it was this big, huge emotional scene. Was that one? Was remember, because she gives, oh my God, you guys, it's so crazy. It's been a year. My brain's like failing me. She gives a speech, right?
Yes.
Because she's leaving because she's going to do Crisis 1, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so, because I'm like needing validation, I'm like, I think that's what happened.
Yeah,
I
it
think
is.
that was our last scene, was her giving the speech. And obviously Barrett was just, and which made all of us just bawl our eyes out. That was the last scene that we shot as a team, as a ensemble. And then the last shot was Andy looking at the display case and walking out in that shot that Peter did onto the 19. And that was like all of us were sitting around the monitors while that scene got shot, sitting with champagne, waiting for us to wrap, for him to be happy with the shot, which took a couple. We wish it had been just one take, but because the camera was doing a very unique move,
Mhm.
it took a couple takes. But then after, we just cried and drank champagne and played music. I can't remember what was playing, but it was loud because we were all screaming.
Moving on to Found, which loved, was amazing, I never actually knew what was gonna happen. I was always surprised.
Neither did I, so I'm glad we're on the same.
What was your audition process like? Like, were you given a breakdown or were you given a script?
I was given nothing. I mean, you get a tiny breakdown. You get a tiny breakdown and you get the sides. I didn't have a script. You know what? Let me look it up on my phone while we're talking. I'll actually see I'll tell you exactly what it actually said. When did I book that, guys?
Last
Because you
June,
guys might know.
July. Last June, July.
Oh yeah, it was June. You're right. June 2024.
Yeah.
So basically the way it works is an audition comes in and it gives me usually just the character breakdown and at least the sides for the character. Oh, hold on. Here we go. Almost there. I'll tell you what the exact, I don't know if I can get in trouble for this, but I'll tell you what the exact breakdown was.
We won't tell.
No, that's my first call sheet. We won't tell on the public podcast. So basically, usually I'll get the script too. My team's really great at trying to get the scripts, but a lot of times there's such a quick turnaround with self tapes that you're like, I don't have time to read the script, but I always try to if I have the time. So this one came in, it was the role of Heather, and the only thing I had was magnetic and whip smart lawyer. She wakes up in a cop's bed after after a one night stand, but leaves the cop feeling charmed and wanting another chance. That was it, guys. And then did I have the script for this? No, I just had the sides. So I just had the sides. I read them. I gave my interpretation. I was actually in Scotland at the time. And Kevin was filming a show. Sorry, he was filming a Netflix show. And so the morning he had to learn a monologue and I had to do this self-tape, like the life of actors. And so I was like, okay, we had like not a lot of time. So I was like, I know what I'm wearing. I know what I want to do. Here's the camera. You do the crazy thing. I set it on a lampshade. And I was like, I had, 20 minutes to get it done. Run the lines a couple times, record it and done. And then I helped him with his monologue before he had to go to set. What's horrible is that I realized when you guys, like, because we're so used to vertical, right, with our phones, what I realized with this audition is that I filmed it in vertical, where all self-tapes have to be filmed in landscape.
Oh, no.
So I thought it was going to be this quick, like, upload it to my computer and done, right? So if anyone knows with editing, I had to then, like, play with it. And in the end, it's so zoomed in on my face. Like, ever since then, I've been like, maybe I just need to zoom in my face more to get another job because I couldn't fight the fact that I had shot it vertically. So I just had to zoom in and literally was like,
That's
close.
my
An
biggest
extreme
fear.
close.
But I booked it. So I was like, okay. But yeah, that was like the one thing I realized. I love that you got it. You're like, oh no. So yeah, that was my audition process. And then a week later, I got the call. Like they were like, they want to pin you, which means that they're interested in you. They want to know your availability and all that kind of stuff. And then I booked it. And then the rest is history. I didn't know how big of a character she was going to be. I just knew that she was going to be a major reoccurring character. So I just knew that.
Do you think that Lena is a villain, survivor, or kind of somewhere in between?
I think she's a survivor. I think she's definitely a survivor at the hands of her brother. I think she plays villain really well, but I think deep down at her core, like she wasn't born that way. She became this person because he groomed her to become this person. And I think what you got to see in talking with the creator a lot was what you got to see when you kind of started to peel back the layers of Lena is you'd start to go, oh, she actually wants love. She wants to know what real love is because her only version of love so far is to be this kind of conniving, manipulative person that her brother wants her to be. So, I always viewed her as more of a survivor, but did I enjoy playing the villain? Absolutely.
I think she was badass.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was fun to play the villain. And then, Nkechi, NK, the creator, would give me those scenes where literally she would be like, no, like you actually you have feelings for, Boots, you really actually Mark Trent, you really want to be with him. You've caught feelings, which is an unusual feeling for her. So it was fun that she did that because she could have just said, nope, be a villain, be a bad person. We're going to kill you. We're going to put you in jail, be done with you. And instead she gave from way more layers than I thought she was going to have.
It was impossible, like, to hate her for doing what she was doing. Like, I was like, you know what? Sometimes we have to support women's wrongs. Like, it's fine.
Like, she kidnapped Jamie. Okay, well, what was he doing? He should have been more aware about his surroundings. Like,
I did laugh at how many people like justified her actions. And I was like, guys, but I have to say, part of me loves to always root for like, the badass bitch and like the sexy clothes. I'm like, yes. I disagree with everything you're doing, but you look good doing it.
Right, like
fictional character. So yes.
Since Found ended on a cliffhanger, what do you think happened with Sir? Like, do you think Lena is the one who caused him to get hurt?
Ooh, good question. I was so shocked when I read the end of that episode and he's like on the floor bleeding out. I don't know if she caused him to get. That isn't my first instinct. My first, I think, instinct was that like someone in the prison did it that he pissed off. And my first thing was like, from a business standpoint, you're like, oh, they have renegotiating to do. So like, let's pretend we're going to kill characters and like we can bring them back and if they behave and agree to a contract. That being said, I I didn't know who had done that. I just, in my mind, was like, oh, he's definitely going to survive. And now he's going to be working with the FBI and Lena's going to be the one behind bars. Or I was like, if Mark Hall, which I don't ever see that happening, Sir didn't come back, then Lena's the one that has to basically take over for Sir and what he was able to do because she's the closest to what his talents were, I guess, to kind of help with solving cases. So, but I didn't think that was ever going to happen. I just thought, I didn't know what they were going to do with her, but I don't know what ended up happening to Sir. I didn't really have an opinion on it because I didn't think the show was going to get canceled.
Well, I was wondering because we were at the viewing in London, and we like,
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 guys, what kills me is like, okay, so we did it, right? So I do the screening and then I'm at the hotel and I'm like, how rude. Literally, I just did a screening, like completely shocked. But what's even funnier is then after that, no one talked about it. Like, I
No.
think I needed to start talking about it because everyone was so nervous. And I'm like, guys, it's okay. You can talk about it. It's part of the job.
well,
But
yeah,
We were
everyone was silent.
we were like
we were
on our way to dinner.
we were. Yeah, we were at the Uber, and I think whoever we were with, like, was like, guys, and we were like, what? And they showed us the Deadline article.
and we all
and
went
then
and got
we
on
were
our
like-
phones.
we were like, so is somebody gonna, like, bring it up? And, like, nobody brought it up. I don't know if they thought it was just, like, if they brought it up, it was just gonna
Make you cry
like,
or something.
yeah, like, I don't know.
I finally had to tell people because like the whole summer was like that. So no one brought up Found again, really, because everyone was like so nervous to bring it up. And I was like, I had to start saying, I was like, you guys can talk about Found. Like
Aw.
we talk about Station 18, you know, all these shows eventually end. Was it shocking that Found ended? Absolutely. But it wasn't like we know what we're doing signing up for this job. Jobs come and go constantly. So
Such
yes.
a shame, though. It was so good.
I really enjoyed it. And so that made me really sad. And from what I knew, it did really well in the numbers. But the truth is like, as much as we're in the entertainment industry and we're creating art, it is a business and it's run by, you know, a room of shareholders. You have to factor that in too.
Yeah.
So something happened. I'll never know, but something happened behind closed doors that made them cancel it.
We picked a
Okay.
few fun, like, fan questions for you to answer. You were in Bring It On All or Nothing with Solange, who's like Beyonce's sister. The show came out when we were 5. But
Don't tell me how old were you when it came out. Do not tell me that. You just make me feel
Sorry.
so old.
I didn't watch it till I was like 8, if that makes you feel any better.
Sure.
You're welcome.
Because that's
Yeah.
so much of a difference.
Yeah.
Do you think Beyonce knows who you are?
Absolutely not. Not even, no, absolutely not. Solange was amazing to work with. Me and her got along great. I loved working with her. But no, that's like saying, you know, Rihanna was in that too. That's like saying if I walked up to Rihanna, I'd be like, do you remember me? Like I actually interacted with Rihanna and had lots of words shared with her. That girl's not gonna remember me at all. No.
That's
I
so
would be
iconic.
lucky. I would think I would want to believe that Solange would remember me if I saw her again because we did really hit it off while filming. But no, Beyonce does not know me, and I don't think Rihanna would even remember me. So I just added in Rihanna into the mix to really just like for emphasis
Salt or sugar on your margarita?
on the margarita.
Like,
like
the rim.
rim.
Yeah.
Yeah, salts. I like
Ugh.
tahini too, but definitely not sugar on a margarita.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't know that was a thing. Is that a cool thing to do?
I like
Yeah,
sugar, but
I
I don't
like
like
sugar.
margaritas, but
Um,
I don't like tequila.
No.
Yeah, tequila definitely does weird things to me. But that being said, like, I don't think to be honest, I can try it next time. I don't think I've ever had sugar on my rim of a margarita, but I can try it.
When we were in Chicago, we went to the Cloud Bar and like I got some kind of margarita drink and they put salt around it. And I
Mhm.
literally could only take like 3 sips because the salt fell in my drink.
So you don't like salt on. You can also just have a margarita with nothing on the rim, which is sometimes nicer because they sometimes put too much salt or too much whatever it is on the rim. Like it's just not. I'm like I'm good. I don't need the like the rim thing.
You liking tahini is kind of surprising.
Yeah, because I don't like spice. Everyone
Yeah.
knows I can't do spice. Tahini doesn't feel spicy to me, but what I do like it on is you know, the fruit that you squeeze like
Mhm.
the lemon juice on and then you put the little tahini. I love it. To me it feels more salty than it does spicy, but it's got flavor and I don't know, maybe it's Chris got me into it. So I've been able to handle tahini. But don't get me wrong. I mean, a jalapeno, I will die.
Me too.
Yeah, no, I don't do spice. I'm probably the pickiest eater on earth. It's horrible. If you had a Freaky Friday moment and woke up as a man, what would be the first thing you do when you wake up?
Oh my God. Yeah, oh my gosh. All I can think about is a penis. I'm just, I think I would just be curious about a lot of things. I think I would just be like, wow, like just taking it all in, even in regards to like, because men and women really do think so differently.
Mm-hmm.
Stereotypes are there for a reason. I just would want to be inside a man's brain to try to see if I could really finally figure out how their brain functions because I really struggle sometimes.
Oh, me every
Yeah.
day.
I mean, at first I would just be just be like, what the fuck?
I feel like
So our last question that we ask everyone that comes on here, well, there's only been 2 people, so
No,
that we're going to start asking.
all 2 people. Yeah.
So this is called the table read. And basically,
Such a great name, by the way. I don't mean to cut you off. I'm going to let you re-say that, but I just want to say the table read is a great title for your podcast. Okay, continue.
thank you. So
Sure.
let's say you walk into a table read. So there's you, and there's 5 other chairs. It could be writer, director, actor, dead or alive. Who would you want sitting at that table?
Oh my gosh. You know, this is so hard. Okay, first people that come to mind. Let's just see. I would say I am stressed. Well, also too, it's an impossible question because it's never going to be. There's no such thing as a perfect answer to this because truthfully, it's like I want a whole convention. Like I want a conference of all the women that I can have. But I'm trying to find like variation of like, okay, who could provide what at the table? Someone younger, someone older, someone who's in the entertainment industry, not in the entertainment industry. So my brain's trying to think of like who would those people be? I'm going to give some weird ones though that people are probably going to be like, what the heck? I'm going to say Emma Stone, Meryl Streep, Viola Davis, Amelia Earhart. That's just a personal one. I'm like, I need to know what happened, girl. I think if I'm keeping with the industry, Amelia Earhart now kind of doesn't make sense at the table. But if I'm keeping with the theme of like the industry, I'd really want, or maybe I take Amelia Earhart out and she comes back for another time, like Shonda Rhimes and Dana Walden.
That's
I
a
think
good
right
table.
now, yeah, I think I'm just so intrigued as to how the whole industry functions from so many different elements and aspects. And Shonda is obviously iconic and runs Shondaland, and Dana runs Disney ABC. And I think getting that perspective on top of a table in what am I trying to say? I'm running out of words. And also have actors at the table that I respect. Yeah, I think that would be a really cool round table of people to talk about the industry if I keep it on that topic.
And it's all women, so even better.
Oh yeah, was I allowed to choose men? I didn't have even
I
the
mean,
desire.
you could, but nah.
Yeah, men have said enough. If I want to hear
Yeah.
say I can go watch his TED Talk or something.
well, thank you, Danielle, for chatting with us
Thank
today.
you guys.
Thank you guys so much for listening, and thank you again, Danielle, for joining us.
Be sure to follow us on our socials to keep up with all our episodes and behind the scenes. We'll see you guys next week.